Mokshit is an inspiration for all those students who are currently preparing for JEE and who want to pursue their hobbies, interests, and passions along with preparing for the exams. So Mokshit is currently pursuing BTech in Mechanical Engineering from IIT-Bombay. We are thrilled to have you, Mokshit, with us today.
Uh, yeah, hi, and thanks for the good intro Sapna gave me. So I'm currently joining in from IIT Bombay itself. I'm a second year undergraduate pursuing mechanical engineering. Yeah.
Yeah, so first question, when did you decide that you have to start preparing for JE and go into the engineering field?
I had decided this after my 10th grade results had come out. I had decided to join FITG instead of going back to my residential school in Andhra Pradesh. Uh, so then I joined in FITG for my 11th and 12th.
All right. Okay, so while deciding this, like, how did you decide the coaching institute that you're going to join? What factors did you consider, and what study material you were going to use for your preparations?
For the coaching institute, it was quite simple. I'm from Bangalore, really, and like I'm actually from Andhra Pradesh, but I live in Bangalore. And in South India, there are only three good coaching institutes overall: Narayana, Chaitanya, and Fiji. And you can hear the stories you hear from Narayana and Chaitanya everywhere. They're a little rigorous. They make you wake up at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and then they start your coaching. It's quite rigorous, and I don't blame people joining there. But yeah, I'm not one of those people who can uh, be very strict according to my schedule. So I had to join. Fiji was the only option left for me.
All right. And how about picking up the study material? Was it only your coaching institute ka study material, or was it beyond that?
Uh, Most of the studying material that I'd used was from the coaching institute itself. So they only provided us with problems really. Everything else was taught from textbooks or those are used as references, and then the teachers took on topics and taught those topics the way they've been teaching all their careers. So I think for physics, H.C. Verma is a good reference book. That's very generic and everyone uses it everywhere. And for chemistry, there's really no textbook because there's three subparts to chemistry, like organic, physical, and inorganic. So each part of it can be referred to a different textbook, and the NCRT textbook is a good first base to follow because it covers most of the topics for either board or mains.
Mhm.
But yeah, so if you want to go in depth, especially for advanced, you would have to use things like OP Tandon and yeah, other books. Mathematics was the same thing. I really never had the need to pick up another textbook except the NCRT textbooks and the studying material that Fiji gave me apart from the classes that I attended.
All right. What about take the importance of taking mock tests during our preparations? Like, how important is it?
Yeah, taking mock tests is probably the most important thing. It's actually it's a lot more important than studying because taking mock test gives you the real feel of how you do in an exam. Whether it's the time constraint you get during the mock test or the amount of marks you get after it, it gives you a rough idea of where you stand among the whole coaching institute itself or wherever you take the exam. So it gives you a rough idea of how good you are, and especially if you take like subject wise mock tests or chapter wise mock tests, then they give you a rough idea of where you stand in the chapter itself, whether you score less or high. uh, I used to take mock tests twice a week, so one mains and one advanced. Mains on Monday and advanced on Saturday, and yeah, they really helped me a lot. It's paramount to take mock tests during your 11th and 12th if you really want to crack JEE.
Okay, so since you had given it like during your 11th and 12th, so how was your weekly schedule like, and how you used to manage your time between both school and then the coaching and then studying, revising all those concepts?
Yeah. So like I'd already said, I really can't fix my schedule and be strict to it. So Fiji had, so they used to teach us 11th and 12th syllabus along with coaching syllabus, uh, for JE coaching syllabus. So it was integrated coaching. It wasn't really like two different things. So everything that we learned in class was applicable to 11th and 12th boards or to our JE coaching. To tell you the truth, there's not much of a difference between the syllabus for JE and the syllabus for NCRT. It's basically the same. It just depends on the questions they give you. So, in let's say in boards, they expect you to write subjective long answers for the same question or a similar question that they would give in mains or advanced, where they expect you to use that concept and apply it to a specific question and give you the answer. Other than that, my weekly schedule let me tell you my daily schedule. My daily schedule used to be, I used to wake up at around 6:30 a.m. And then by the time I got ready and had breakfast, it would be 7:30. My coaching institute wasn't very far away, so I used to go by cycle. It used to take me 10-15 minutes, and our classes used to start at 8. So at 8 o'clock, we had our first class, and I think we had a couple of classes till around 10:30. And at 10:30, we had a break for like 5-10 minutes, which really was more of a buffer time for the teachers to just finish their classes. And after those two classes got over, we had a couple more classes till 1 o'clock. And then we had a lunch break. Our lunch break also used to be very short, about half an hour, and that most of that also used to be taken to cover up the ending of the previous class or the starting of the next class. So we used to just gobble up our lunch as quickly as possible and then go on to the next class. And then we had two more classes before we had a 10 minutes break again, and then a couple more classes till 5:30, and that was the end of the day in Fiji. So I used to come back home again by cycle. I used to reach home by 6, and 6 to 7, I used to just take my time, relax a little bit here and there, do what I like, maybe. Uh, so one big thing in my 11th and 12th that I forgot to mention is I didn't have a smartphone. Uh, I really didn't have a smartphone. I had those Nokia Dabba phones, and those I could only use. I was only able to use those for calls. So it's not like I ever surfed through the net or anything. I had an iPad to help me take online mock tests sometimes, or like help me to clarify a few doubts here and there in any subject. But yeah, having a Dabba phone really gives you a lot of time that you wouldn't get normally if you had a smartphone. Uh, yeah, so from 6 to 7, I used to just get ready, bathe, and like relax here and there. And at 7, uh, I used to do a lot of different things. So from 7, I never really had a fixed schedule. Uh, Sometimes I used to go play. I'm a big fan of outdoor sports. I play cricket, football, badminton, and well, basically all of them. So sometimes I used to go and play for an hour or two, and otherwise I used to mostly revise up on my chemistry here and there, because the, there are a lot of things you can forget in chemistry. Physics and math is very concept based, and whether or not you revise it wouldn't matter if you understood the concept clearly. But chemistry is very memory based, and there's a huge chance you may forget it if you don't revise. So I used to try and revise chemistry for half an hour to an hour. And yeah, and then I used to have dinner at around 9. And after dinner, I used to try and solve those Fiji problems that they used to give us in those booklets. And by 10:30, I would be really tired and again fall asleep by 11.
All right, so that covers it all, like what your daily schedule was like. What about the difficulty difference between a main and advanced? Like, and how much time do you get to prepare for each, and what your strategy exactly should be after giving your mains?
Okay. So there's the difficulty level between mains and advanced is huge. So mains, what mains really asks you for is to not make mistakes, because it's very easy to make a mistake in mains. Uh, it might be a silly mistake, it might be a calculation error. There are a lot of things that can go wrong in mains. You don't know where it can go wrong. So the questions are relatively easy compared to what advanced is like. So if you have to, like, if you're looking for a good rank in mains or advanced, and I guess anyone would say that mains is relatively easy compared to advanced. But like I said, anything can go wrong in a mains paper because you don't know. There are a lot of things. A calculation error in a physics question or in a chemistry question, you wouldn't know the topic itself because there are extra topics for mains in chemistry, which is really not important and which are irrelevant to what we learn. It's just memory based, and it's it has no reason for why that answer is that. So there are things that can go wrong in mains. So what it really asks you for is speed and accuracy. There's not much else in mains. Advanced is a whole different ball game. It's, I don't know, not a million times harder, but yeah, it's a lot harder, as you would see previous year papers or anything. But it's actually not that scary. Once you're familiar with mains, I don't think advanced would be really scary. It's similar, but it's harder. Here, you can't go wrong in calculations because it's not calculation heavy, or there's nothing that you have to memorize and then go and write the paper in. It's all about what you do in the exam and whether you've got your concept clear. So the question might seem hard and they might be long questions or whatever, but once you know how to solve it, it's a cakewalk. Yeah. So advanced, there's no pattern also. Every year it changes. It's you're just new. You're just stuck there for 6 hours, and you have to give your best shot there. Uh, Practicing is the only thing that can help you for advanced, because you have no clue what kind of questions can come or where it's going to come from. There's no specific weightage ratio that they give for 11th and 12th syllabus and things like that. So, but in mains, you can see a lot of questions repeat over the years, and 11th syllabus, I guess, takes over 40 to 45% of the questions, and 12th syllabus would take over 55 to 60% of the questions. So, I guess mains is, well, easier to crack, definitely, but like I said, it's all about speed and accuracy. And so like mains is a 3 hours paper, and my strategy to clear during the mains paper was to do the chemistry part first, and then the maths part, and then the physics part. So personally, chemistry I found was the easiest subject, and math was the second easiest. Physics was the hardest for me. So I used to try and score as many marks as in chemistry and maths as possible, and then go on to physics. It also gives you a good feeling when you're able to do well in the beginning of the paper, and it helps you, like, that momentum carries on forward to the rest of the paper. So like in these mock tests, I tried different strategies. I even tried doing physics first and maths second, or maths first and physics second, but I never found it as comfortable as doing chemistry first. Whenever I did physics first, my morale would go down because I would not able to solve most of the questions, or like the first question I solved, I would just get stuck there for 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, and you can't waste time. There's absolutely no time to waste in advanced domains. So yeah, my strategy was to cover chemistry first, then maths, and then physics, and then go back in the same order for the questions that I left.
All right. So during the day of the exam, what are the things one must keep in mind, and like as you mentioned ki you used to attempt the chemistry and maths ka part first, and then you used to go to physics, but this might not be appropriate for everyone. So like I think everyone should pick what is the strongest point. So your suggestions on this,
Yeah,
like picking up your strong point first and then going to the weak areas.
yeah. So by picking up the strongest ones first, you get a morale boost, and you know that you're gonna score these minimum amount of marks where you can't go wrong, because you're more or less sure that these are the questions I'll get right. And then when you go to the other questions, you get time, you get more time. You try to solve like your strongest subjects as quickly as possible, and as score as many marks as you can, and then you go to your weaker subjects and take your time and try as many as you can.
All right. And what are the things one must keep in mind during the day of the exams? Like, you shouldn't stress out yourself a lot on that day because it's the 1 day performance that matters a lot. So, how was your mindset during that particular day?
Yeah, so yeah, stress and anxiety issues are huge, and it's not only about the day of the exam, it's about these 2 years. Or some people, most of my friends actually who were in Fiji with me have been doing this for 4 5 years, 4 plus years. And yeah, stress and anxiety issues are huge, and we are still teenagers, and we're not sure about how to handle it. uh, I guess taking your time out during any day, doing what you like, uh, will make you happier, if not well satisfied with what you're doing, but it'll definitely make you happier. And you should well keep the bigger picture in mind during these 2 years, whether if you're really interested in what you're doing. And yeah, the kind of opportunities you get in these good elite in engineering colleges in India, at least, because there are not many. Uh, yeah, it's a whole different level compared to the other engineering colleges, because I've been to other colleges, and there's a big difference in the fee structure also. So, like private colleges cost you 20 times more, 30 times more than what an IIT or an NIT would cost you. Like BITS itself is an elite engineering college in India, and it's private. And I know and the person who used to sit beside me in Fiji is right now in BITS. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's not it's a really good college, and it definitely has good facilities, but why would you pay more for the same facilities and the same amount of opportunities when you could get into an IIT or an NIT? Yeah, and other than that, during the day of the exam, just make sure you have everything ready the day before itself. No need to get in a hurry in the morning, because no, at least my both my sessions and mains are in the morning, and advanced obviously starts in the morning. Have your things ready the night before, and yeah, wake up an hour or two early. Make sure you get to the exam center on time. Please don't get late; they won't allow you inside. Yeah, so yeah, get there early and just take your spot, sit there, and I don't know, just take your time out. uh, think about the happiest things you've done in your life, or why you've done these 2 years or 4 years of coaching. And yeah, I mean, I agree, it does get a whole lot tense at the situation. And when you can see there's a countdown, 2 minutes left, a minute left, and then they show you the countdown when the paper starts. It does get really tense, but once the paper starts, everything just goes out of your mind. And these 3 hours, that's it. You don't have anything else. You're Whether you're smarter than the rest of the people there, or whether you're the smartest, doesn't matter. Those 3 hours or those 6 hours are all that matters. Whether you did 2 years of your Whether you took 2 years of your life to do the coaching, 4 years of your life, all that just goes out of your head. These 3 hours are the probably the most important 3 hours in your life till up till then. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, any subject-wise strategies like you followed for each subject, like chemistry and then physics and then mathematics?
So for chemistry, like I said, most of it was taught by my teacher itself, the syllabus. I follow the NCRT is a great textbook to follow for mains because in mains they don't ever ask you anything other than the NCRT except a couple of questions maximum. And those couple of questions, if you don't get, you really don't have to worry because no one else would have gotten. Like the number of people would have gotten that question based on a guess or whether they've studied it before really doesn't matter. So the NCRT textbook is a great starting point for mains, and yeah, it's more than enough, I would say, for mains for chemistry. And for advanced, there's really no there's really no amount of studying you can do for advanced. Chemistry is a vast subject. There are probably 20 reference textbooks that I can give you just right now, but studying all of them still won't help you. So by, I don't know, following a reference textbook might help you, but if you have a specified tutor for chemistry, is the best thing that you could get because they know what previous year papers have been asking for and things like that. So, but NCRT textbook is a great first step. It solves most of your questions in advanced also if you're thorough with the concepts that they're teaching you. But yeah, there's not much more I can say for that in chemistry. And in physics, again, my teacher used to teach me, obviously, and H.C. Verma, Concepts of Physics, H.C. Verma, Volume 1, Volume 2 is the best. Like, you can't get better than that. If you're thorough with that, you're good to go for mains. You're definitely good to go for mains. And a lot of people don't do much more for advanced too. But Concepts of Physics Volume 1, Volume 2 is a must if you're attempting JEE. And if you really want to make sure your physics is perfect and you want to score maybe 70+% in advanced, by the way, getting a 50% score totally in advanced is a great score. And like you're definitely sure, even in the easiest paper, that you'll get a rank. If not a good rank, you'll definitely get a moderate rank. So 50%, like I think greater than 60% even on the easiest paper is like definitely below 5K, below 1K rank. So there's not much you can ask for more than that. So if you really want to score 70, 80% of the score in advanced, IE Iridov is a problem solving book. I guess if you're able to solve all questions in IE Iridov, you can make like knowing the concept and doing it yourself perfectly, you are good to go for advanced. Like you have no problem. I can tell you you'll get more than 80% in advanced if you're able to solve each problem in IE Iridov. So don't get depressed if you're not able to solve one also. Because honestly, I was able to solve two questions in physics in IE Iridov, and I went for my advanced paper. Yeah, it's one of the toughest books ever in like for JEE preparation in physics. So if you're done with that, it's good. If you want another reference textbook for studying in physics, other than Concepts of Physics by H.C. Verma, D.C. Pandey, published by Arihant, is a really good textbook too. I think there are 6 or 7 books, like reference books for them, like based on the different topics. And yeah, that's just as good as H.C. Verma Concepts of Physics.
All
Uh,
right.
yeah, and I guess maths is left. Yeah, maths, there's really not much. You just have to solve the problem that they ask you to solve. I used to solve through my Fiji materials. They used to give us really good problems. They used to mix and match like previous year problems of advanced mains and bits and whatnot exams that there are in for engineering colleges in India. And they used to make their own questions too. So that used to be another challenge because making questions, trust me, is harder than solving the question. Yeah.
All right. So there were a few questions from one of our mentees. So as per him, he says like the syllabus for entrance and CBSE is the same. That's what a lot of people say. But according to him, like there's a way lot. There's so much difference that he really has to refer different books for both the exams. So which board were you in, and what would you recommend?
So I was in the Telangana State Board of Intermediate Education in my 11th and 12th, but they follow the same NCRT textbook for CBSE, and their exams are also quite similar to the CBSE exams.
Hmm.
So a lot of people do say that entrance examinations and CBSE syllabus are the same, and it's actually very true. It may not sound like true because, as you can see, people score 99%, 100% in their board exams, but are barely able to score 50% on their entrance examinations. But yeah, the syllabus is the same. I can vouch for that. Uh, the only difference that you think, like when the person is solving the problem and thinks that there's a vast difference, is because they haven't had enough practice with what they're doing, or they haven't read the textbook properly, because the syllabus is definitely the same, except for maybe a couple of questions in each paper. You won't find much difference from the NCRT textbook. The concepts that the NCRT textbook teaches you should be enough to solve all questions in mains, definitely, and in advanced maybe a couple of extra methods or things that you can look out for, but the syllabus is definitely the same.
So, other question is, people say that chemistry is the easiest subject in entrance coaching. However, it's my worst nightmare, and I find chemistry and physics interesting. What can I do to improve my chemistry? I'm not looking for guide's name. I want to know how you studied. Like, for example, making notes and studying in that. I wish to know how to make the notes. Yeah, so I think making the notes is really important. This is something which would be really helpful. How you used to make your
Okay, I
notes.
think, yeah, I think I lost you for a second there, but I heard you saying notes are really important. Can you repeat, because I
Yeah,
think I
yeah.
lost you for a
I'll repeat the entire thing, right?
second. No, no, I heard what the question said, but I think you said something and then your
Yeah,
internet.
so making notes is really important when you're preparing for exams, and like it would be really helpful if you say like what strategies you used to prepare for make for preparing your notes. Like, was it
Uh,
only the coaching institute or you used to prepare yourself?
so, like, whoever said that chemistry is the worst nightmare, yeah, I mean, I find a lot of people who say that, but to tell you the truth, chemistry is the easiest scoring that you can't deny. In the entrance examinations, chemistry, physics, and math, chemistry is the easiest scoring. Whether you find it hard or easy is upon your personal dislikes and likes, and there's nothing I can do about that. But chemistry is definitely the easiest scoring subject out there, because it's directly from what you've learned. Whereas math and physics, there might be a couple of tricks here and there that you'd have to know, or you might miss out on. But chemistry is a lot more direct. It's more easy to see what the answer can be, although there might be multiple answers and it might be confusing, but the solution is always direct. It's not like a math or physics solution when you find out what the answer is. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong in finding chemistry as a dislike or some a worst nightmare, because I know a lot of people who used to score a lot more in physics and math than in their chemistry subjects, and they got decent enough ranks. They got really good ranks, and well, they're pursuing their engineering in IIT Madras bits and whatnot again. But as you can see, if you really want to score well in mains or advanced, you have to score well in chemistry. There's no getting out of that, because whether or not you have no clue how hard a math paper or a chemistry or a physics paper might come. In a few papers, the highest math, like a good math score, maybe 60% or 40% sometimes in a good maths paper, like in a tough maths paper or in a tough physics paper. But in a chemistry paper, you can always see that a good chemistry score has to be 70-80% plus. Like the toppers everywhere would be scoring 70-80% in those subjects, because, well, again, like I said, the solutions are direct and it's the easiest scoring subject. And as for preparing for it, I used to take notes in class. I didn't refer to external textbooks, except the NCRT one. So I used to take notes in class, and I used to revise my notes. Like I said, during in the night when I came back home, I used to revise them. And before my mains, so we had completed our 12th syllabus about 2-3 months before our mains started. So over the last 2 months, I only went through the NCRT and I highlighted all the points that could be important in the NCRT, and I revised my notes all over again. So yeah, taking notes during classes are really important, especially in chemistry, because maths and physics, you can find the concept over any textbook again, but the way someone explains chemistry to you can't be done again. uh, so taking notes is probably the best way to learn, because writing is scientifically proven that you'll remember more if you write it down. So taking notes is definitely important in chemistry. And yeah, other than that, go over the NCRT, go over every line in the NCRT, especially in chemistry. It's really important. You don't know where the question is going to come from. Every line in the NCRT is important, and yeah, highlight the things that you think can come in the paper.
All right. All right. The next one is people say a person preparing needs at least 6 to 8 hours of learning every day. Okay, agreed. When can this 6 to 8 hours of self study time be for student who is school from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.?
Okay, so let's see. In my daily schedule, so I said I had classes from 8 to 5:30, with I guess about an hour of breaks. So that would lead to 8.5 hours of studying, like in class itself. Uh, and again, I guess in those 8.5 hours, we used to have 1.5 hour of just problem solving. So yeah, we used to study for 6-7 hours, I guess, just on the topics learned in just in class. I'm just talking about class timings. So I guess yeah, we used to study for 6 to 7 hours in class, about 1.5 hour to 2 hours problem solving during class timings itself. And when I used to go back home, I studied on average another 1.5 hour, I guess. So that would lead to 3 hours of problem solving every day and about 6 hours of learning the concepts every day. And so my Fiji was integrated coaching. So what I learned during class wasn't anything apart from the entrance examination coaching stuff. So let's say you have 8 classes from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day. Uh, um, is this CBSE?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So if you have classes from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day, I guess like you're still learning the same thing again. So it's not like you're learning anything different from what someone's learning in a coaching center, because like I said, the syllabus is the same. So I guess you could focus more on problem solving on your own during the time you have. I guess 5 to 6 hours daily on a weekday, or yeah, would suffice, I guess. Yeah, would be more than sufficient. 5 to 6 hours. So let's say you come back home at 2 p.m. and you can still take out about 2-3 hours before you, I don't know, before it's evening, and then a couple of hours more in the night. So yeah, you'll definitely get 5 hours to study. In that, you can maybe do 2 hours of reading on what they've taught you in class, or anything extra that you haven't learned in class, because maybe you don't have integrated coaching. You can watch maybe videos on YouTube, which are quite helpful, really. There are a lot of Indians teaching JEE syllabus on YouTube. So you may use them for topics that you find difficult, and you can do 3 hours of problem solving every day during during like a past dinner, or like before dinner around 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
All right. And one more question. How to
And for the
manage?
previous question, can I just add, if they really want to
Yeah.
schedule, I'm sure, yeah, for the previous question, if they really want to schedule, I'm sure someone can help you fix a definite schedule for them if they know their exact timings. And if you're very punctual to what you're going to stick to, you'll definitely be able to study those 5-6 hours that you said wouldn't be needed for learning the extra stuff.
Hmm. All right. how to manage entrance coaching during the school exam time. I have a lot of videos pending and I'm not able to find time to watch them. Since I think you had given your exams in 2020, so even you must have had like online classes. I'm not sure about it. So, how to tackle viewing the videos online because
Because they don't have time.
yeah, he's not able to find time to watch it. Like, so how can he deal with it?
Okay, so like, so his coaching and his CBSE is different, two different things, are
Yeah,
two different things.
yeah,
Ah, okay, so again, I didn't have that problem because mine was integrated, but yeah, my year was kind of a really bad year because COVID struck at the wrong time. We were already through with our syllabus because we had written the first mains before the. So there are two mains. At least during my time, there were two mains. Right now, as I hear it, there are four mains going on every year. So for me, I'd already written my first mains before COVID had struck, and then everything went into a lockdown. So by the first mains, a couple of months before the first mains, we were done with our syllabus. So we didn't really have a lot of videos to watch. All I watched was the topics that I found difficult in. So I used to watch them, and I used to go for a couple of tuitions, one here and there, like for physics and maths, if I found any topic especially difficult. So like for like rotation in physics, like most of them, most of JEE students find rotation in physics the hardest chapter in whole of JEE. So yeah, I found it really difficult too. And yeah, I used to go for a couple of tuitions, maybe once a week. I don't know, for I think yeah, around, I'd taken like two classes on rotation and a couple of classes on electricity and things like that in physics. And for maths also, I'd attended one or two classes. I really didn't find the maths tuitions very helpful because I thought my math was good enough anyway. But the physics tuitions really helped me because there's nothing wrong in being weak in some subject and then like trying to learn it. You should accept what you're good at and learn what you're not good at. You should try to keep improving. That's it. So I used to go for a couple of tuitions during, well, quarantine. I mean, sorry, during lockdown. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. I mean, there was not much there are not many videos to watch or anything. But I guess if you want to find time, like I said, if 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. are your classes, you can watch the videos for, I guess they wouldn't give you more than 2-3 hours of videos to watch a day. So if you do that, we can definitely set up a timetable for you if you would like to watch 2-3 hours of your videos and then solve the problems that you get for 2-3 more hours, and then make sure that you have time on Saturday and Monday. Instead of solving these problems in these times, just write a mock test because they give you the exact feel of how many marks you're going to score in which topic and where you're going to score your marks from and things like that.
All right. Yeah. So I think this should cover it all regarding how one can prepare for JEE. Thank you so much, Mokshit, for being with us. It was great, and I'm sure it will help many of them.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here too. And yeah, if there's anything, you can always reach out to me through, yeah, I mean, however you can. I'm I'm more than happy to help out.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much.